Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and today we are going to be reviewing One Piece Chapter 1051, The Shogun of Wano, Kozuki Momonosuke. So, we basically have the conclusion of the Germa 66 arc right here. Germa escapes, and not really much to be said. Yeah, they just have a cool shot, and they're breaking out. So,
Yeah. Well, I
yeah.
was I was gonna say, do you think that this is the end of the cover story, or do you think that there's gonna be more? I think there's gonna be more, but just based on
Uh,
other cover stories. If Orlumbus got his own cover story that lasted like I think it was longer than this one so far.
yeah.
But the
Well,
German
what I,
deserves more. But go ahead.
right. No, what I think what might happen is, at the very least, they'll meet up with Judge, and
Mhm.
like no one will hug each other, and they'll just kind of like get back on the ship, kind of thing, you
Yeah.
know, kind of the same deadpan look, or they might come in contact with Pudding again,
Mhm.
uh, or again, there's still a question about where's Big Mom, what's happened to her, and how is this going to connect with what might potentially happen to Whole Cake, with her demise or her being KO'd, etc., etc. So, those are kind of like my only thoughts on it, though. Um, so, what were your initial thoughts on kind of like, let's say, well, I guess the Scabbards are back, even Kinemon.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I had a double check last chapter where Usopp literally said to Chopper, I have two patients here in critical condition with Kiku and Kinemon. And yet both of them are back up. Uh, they seem fine. Um, I don't know if Miyagi gave them the pill that they gave Zoro. But I mean, that indicates that Zoro is worse off than Kinemon, who was like split in half, and Kiku.
It took like a straight up hockey attack by Kaido
Yeah.
with no defense at all, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah, this part made me groan. Um,
I know you're not a big fan of the Scabbards.
Not just the Scabbards, but like I know we're not going to do a whole review of the war, but like the war's over, no one died, and they went through all that, and they're like relatively scot-free. Okay, it's just kind of like, are you kidding me? A little bit, you know? Uh, I don't know. It was just kind of, I don't know. I'm just like Oda. Like this wasn't really that great of a war. Like there were good fights, but it was like a shitty war. Kind of looking back at it. So you and I were talking about this, off podcast where Marineford, there was tension. Like you had giant vice admirals come in, and they were destroying wipe your fodder. Then Oars comes in and wipes out the vice admiral giants, and then the Shishibukai show up and then just destroy Oars. Right? There was like a back and forth, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really got KO'd on the Alliance side the entire time, which is like kind of insane to think about. And no one died too, obviously, So
Yeah. I mean,
they just took down two Yonko and a Yonko crew. No one got KO'd at all, which is kind of crazy to think about. And then also like, well, I think really the only time someone got KO'd was by CP0, a team of three. And it was really just two of the three who were actually mowing down people. Aside from that, nobody else got really KO'd by Kaido's people.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only person would be like Ashura Doji, because we don't see him in this chapter, which might indicate that he's dead, or I'm not sure. And like Kanjuro is probably dead, but who knows? And then the other one would be like Hawkins. Hawkins got taken out by CP0, but he's probably not like down for the count.
You mean Drake?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Hawkins, Drake, yeah. But yeah, Hawkins was really the only person. I'm sorry, Drake was the only person on the side of the alliance that was kind of taken out like that.
Yeah. But it wasn't even by Kaido's people though. The world government had to do it.
Yeah. And
No, sorry, go.
I'm just thinking back to like other big fights, like at the end of Dressrosa. We didn't really have a lot of the no, actually, we had a lot of the people who were on Luffy's side. They were injured, but they were being healed temporarily by Mansherry's tears.
Yeah.
So, and that was only a temporary thing.
And some of the shitty gladiators got KO'd, like the mummy guy. The mummy and Logan, they got taken out by Doflamingo when he was in the awakening form. You know.
Literally, who cares?
Yeah.
No.
No, but even those guys were knocked out, right? Those insignificant characters, and I guess like my point with the Wano War, like, could you at least have like KO'd the Yakuza bosses?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like why not? I'm not saying kill them off, or I guess you could say some scappers are down, but not really, because look, I mean, Kittymon's pretty good to go, Kiku pretty good to go,
Raizo.
You know, it's like
Also,
there's no tension. You know, there was no tension in this war to me. You know, there was just cool fights and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a good war. Those are two distinct things. There's like the good arc story, there's good fights, and then there's the war itself.
Mm-hmm.
And this war does not compare in any way to Marineford.
Well, even looking back at the two last arcs, and say like from Marineford onward, we had the big fight in Fishman Island, which was kind of tensionless, but that was to kind of show what the like what new powers the Straw Hats had. And then you had Dressrosa, which I think built the tension pretty well with the birdcage and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Whole Cake, which I think was very well done, especially in a reread with how it flowed with everything going. Maybe this'll do better on a reread, but I don't know. I feel like not even like the war part, but more so like the plot points were kind of shortened, because I don't feel like we got even as much out of the fights as we did even in Dressrosa. Especially for the with the Toby Roppo. Like, they weren't as impressive. Okay, so I think if Kaido had Big Mom's crew, that would be much stronger than like Kaido's carrying his crew and Big Mom's being carried by hers. So if they switched, I think they would be more formidable.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Because I kind of feel like the only reason why we should be impressed by Zoro and Sanji defeating the Calamities or the other crew members defeating the Toby Roppo, the only hype they have is their titles.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see them defeat anyone, you know. So let's take in let's say Marco and Jozu. You know, they did some really crazy stuff in Marineford. Mm-hmm. So when they got taken down, it was meaningful, you know?
Yeah.
This isn't the case here. The Calamities really never did anything. Maybe you could say Jack, kind of. You could just say he has a lot of fortitude and everything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you just didn't get it there. Well, and I'd say you're right, like with the Whole Cake Island and the pirates there. I think they put in more work for sure, and they were able to accomplish more. And it definitely felt like more of a struggle how they had to get out and everything too. Here, it just, like I said, no tension at all, really. I mean, like I said, just real quick, but like Marco, Jozu, Kirillin, I think he was that other Whitebeard commander.
Vista.
Plenty of allies. Well, I talk about the people who got taken out.
Oh yeah.
During the war.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a good number of people who, got KO'd on the ally side and everything. But here it's just like, it's like, okay.
And going back to Whole Cake, you have like people who just had like more impressive stuff that they did, like Daifuku and Oven.
Cracker.
Cracker, yeah. We don't talk about Smoothie, but
yeah, true.
But yeah, that would be. It seems like the anime is kind of fleshing it out a bit, but just reading from week to week, kind of, it's not coming across that the war, and that's kind of what I've had an issue with the bigger battles in One Piece. Even like, so I haven't watched Marineford in the anime. I only read it in the manga. So I know I'm not a true fan. But it just seemed to me like just a lot of big action panels, and they're cool, but I didn't really get the sense of like caring about who's in the battle as much with like the bigger set pieces. And that's what I kind of felt like when Oda would do like the big panels in the Skull Dome and everything. She's like, okay, we kind of see, like, you kind of focus in on the characters that and then you kind of ignore the rest. It's kind of just noise. But but yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it, but Wano's definitely not in the top 5 arcs for me, like people were saying that it was going to be. Although we still have, I think there's going to be at least 5 more chapters of wrap up for Wano.
Yeah, and my main focus isn't really critiquing Wano as a whole right now. I'm just more critiquing the war.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the war was, especially how it was hyped up, I think it's really subpar, to be perfectly frank. I think the Beast Pirates were, I think really the only, I think Robin had a great showing. I think Zoro and Sanji did too, and Luffy obviously did. But I think all the other fights, Jinbei was good too. But
Jinbei, I would say the only weak Toby Roppo fight, I wish they lasted more than like 1 chapter, but I would say the only weak one was Frankie. And like Page 1 and...
Yeah.
I wish Page 1 and Ulti had actual fights with Usopp and Nami.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of my thing. It's, I don't know. It just didn't really hit the same way, I'd say. So, yeah, as an arc though, Wano as a whole, I think that's something I'm going through the anime again right now, so it's been good. I'm finally getting closer to Root Piece and stuff, but I'm probably going to have to reread Wano again to just kind of qualify it as a whole and everything, but I think I can say just from recency, the war as a whole was, yeah, like I said, subpar, especially how it was hyped up. It was nowhere near Marineford, but kind of moving on from that though, it was cool to kind of see the Scabbards come out and see everybody reunited, to see the prophecy kind of come to fulfillment and everything. I thought, that was kind of emotional and cool and all that. Did you have any thoughts on that?
So it seems like with Toki's prophecy, it said that there were 9 there would be 9 shadows, and it seems like there's that's not including Momonosuke, I don't think, because later on we see like Raizo, Inuarashi. Hiyori's in the lineup, and I'm not sure if she counts. But yeah, but that's the thing that makes me wonder about Ashura Doji, if he's going to be gone for good, because he wasn't included in the lineup. And I was thinking, how did they all get to the capital? Did Momo pick them up? Because they were all on Onigashima. So, I mean, that would logically be the only thing, but...
Yeah. No, and I guess he's walking in with them, so it makes sense and everything. And then we get to Yamato and all this.
Yeah.
You do your thoughts first on this.
Well, so Yamato comes in, and she still is calling herself Odin, which is still weird. I think that she would have dropped that by now. But yeah, she kind of just says like, yeah, I'm gonna be on your crew now. And I'm agreeing with Jinbei on this, where he said we'll need to get confirmation from the captain before I'll be convinced.
Yeah.
So I'm not fully convinced, because someone brought up like Robin invited herself onto the crew. And it really wasn't until after Enies Lobby where she became like an official part of the crew. Because did Luffy like ask her at that point? Because it seems like Luffy always has to ask the person to join.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe she just kind of invited herself on, and then she was just kind of there, you know? And I'd say she didn't really join it, and he said, like, tell me you want to live, you know? And that's kind of felt like when she was fully on the crew and everything, you know? But I think... I'm not going to belabor this point, because a lot of people bring it up. Doesn't really have that great of a dream. She says, I want to see the world. Well, she's going to be different than Odin, because Odin was seeing the world for years and years. She's just going to see Elbaf and One Piece, and then that's it. That's not the world. Basically, you know, for the rest of the series.
Well, maybe she does. Maybe her dream was just freedom overall, but then that's kind of not as grand as everyone else's.
So, like, every person in One Piece, basically, that's like their dream too. And then what's her role on the ship? Chronicler. Well, we have Robin. Well, why can't we have both? Well, okay, that's like saying, okay, we need a sous chef along with Sanji, right?
Yeah.
It's just like superfluous. We already have someone that can do that role, you know? Jinbei, that wasn't the case, because they needed a helmsman, Usopp a sniper, Zoro the fighter, vice captain, Chopper the doctor. Those are very clearly specific, but like when it comes to the Chronicler, like Robin can clearly do that. It's not even close. And I think even to an extent Brook can too, because like songs can be like the way you can hold a history, you know, too. Again, it's just kind of like, I mean, I like her. She's a cool character, don't get me wrong. I just don't really see her as Straw Hat material. And I can also see Luffy being like, no, I don't want Kazuki Odin to join. I want you to join. But I still think there's issues with her dream. So I can maybe see her joining later, though. But it should be noticed that Jinbei still hasn't done the Sake Cup yet.
Yeah.
So we still need to do that in the near future as well. So I don't know. It is curious that she said, I want to join while Luffy's passed out, though. And I still have an issue. She spent 0 time with the crew.
Yeah, like the only person that she interacted with was Frankie, basically, right?
Well, no, because Frankie was he was about the fighter.
I know, but I'm counting any interaction.
No. I mean, I think this is the first time you saw her because he's like, oh, so the war isn't over. Like, he's about to attack. Like, this is the first time he's seen her.
No, remember she interfered with his battle with Sasaki, and she.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but that was really the only one, I think. I don't think she ran into anyone else.
Yeah, and I think.
Besides Luffy.
So, right, but kind of look at like, let's say, Frankie and Brooke, for example. They were introduced at the beginning of the arc. She was introduced like way deep into it, and I think that's would be kind of bad writing. You know, it'd be one thing if like she was introduced like right off the bat, and she got to interact with the crew and do all this stuff, and I thought like, oh, that'd be pretty cool. You know, that'd be a good way to set things up, but that wasn't the case. You know, it just kind of seems like she's being shoehorned in a little bit, and I get like she's really popular with the fans and everything. It just feels very inorganic to me, you know?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, she needed to interact with more, because you think about even like with Frankie when he was first introduced, he was a villain, and he had the whole. He was on the train with Sanji and Usopp interacting with them. On the way to Eni's lobby.
Right.
And I mean, it could be like kind of the same for Robin, because she just kind of showed up. But they did interact, the whole crew interacted with her after Whiskey Peak when she blew up Igaram's ship. But
and also there's the dimension. I do think she's stronger than Zoro and Sanji. Clearly, just because she went 1v1 with Kaido, and was not hurt in any serious way. And as like Jinbei didn't join the crew until now because Jinbei was clearly stronger than both of them back in Fishman. Like Oda does care about power levels when it comes to the big three, you know. Yeah. So, and especially with the whole, he's hitting hard the point, the wings of the Pirate King, and everything like that. So. I don't think he's gonna disrupt it right now. Yeah, okay, so I've heard the arguments, but they need like an Odin character to be on the crew. But does that Odin character need to be on now? You know? Because Wano's gonna need a lot of rebuilding and defense too, because like they're all pretty weak and destroyed right now too. And isn't her title the Guardian Wano or something? Guardian deity of Wano country.
I think that's her fruit. Yeah.
So, but if she like were to be like kind of a good Odin or whatever, wouldn't she not leave Wano? Like kind of how Odin did that too? Because when you think about it, like Odin leaving like led to the destruction of it, and if she's like the guardian deity of Wano, well, she's kind of doing a shitty job if she's gonna go explore like Odin did in a way, you know? So I don't know. Those are kind of my critiques and some thoughts there. And we keep on saying, "Oh, well, this appears this is going to happen, so it might not happen." So I'm not going to get my confidence that I've been wrong on a lot of stuff lately. But those are just kind of my general thoughts on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's very divisive within the fan base about her status as a crew member, but. We'll have to wait and see. So, do you have any other thoughts on that?
No. I mean, that's it really. I mean, now we see more of Tama and just kind of the flashbacks with her, how her power expires after a month, and sometimes the creatures will stay loyal to her. You know, just some more characterization, starving, and you know, kind of bring back Luffy's dream a little bit. You know, he wants to bring in food, you know, just have that feast and that party. And then we just kind of get that final shot with Momo and the scabbards and everything, which is a cool shot. I do like it, don't get me wrong. You know, just kind of hated how we got here. Sorry, go.
I was going to say, I kind of expected with the Momo reveal to him have like the same hairdo as Odin, but I like his grown-up form. I think it looks cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
But it also puts into perspective, toward the end of the chapter, it said that he's still like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Like mentally, he hasn't lived out those years. Because wasn't there a theory that Momo was gonna join them as like a cabin boy or something? I think that was killed when he got aged up. But yeah, he's definitely not leaving now.
Yeah, no, he's gonna stay. And obviously the borders are gonna stay up too, which can be used as like a form of defense also. But I know a lot of people are saying that, but my issue with that is the government knows how they get into other ways now. Right? Because wasn't there like a back door into Onigashima that Apu and all them took to get up there? But I guess it's not still functioning, right? Because Onigashima got moved and everything.
Yeah, it's on land, so.
Yeah, so I guess that wouldn't work either, then.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, yeah, I guess it would be kind of difficult for the Navy to get in and everything, but... So he claims, yeah, Kaido and Orochi these pirates are all defeated now. So... Do you agree? All done? Raid has not failed?
There's still a chance that something could happen. Because there's still the lingering threats of the Marines and whatever happened to the Big Mom pirates.
Lol.
No, I'm serious. I think that Oda's gonna do something. At least show them leaving Wano. Please at least show them leaving.
Well, do you think they're gonna get Big Mom?
Well, that's what I think, because we still don't have the confirmation. If they were both taken out, like if Law and Kid straight up like punched Big Mom down to the hole and killed her, I don't think that would be satisfying. It would be more satisfying for Kaido, because I feel like his story's kind of through. But yeah, if Big Mom's down for the count, I would not be too happy.
Well, do you think she's knocked out?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But I mean, there's still the lingering stuff with Elbaf and everything with her character. But then people are always going to argue: do we need Big Mom for 3 arcs in a row?
Yeah. I will say this, not going to get too deeply into this, but Big Mom is not in my top 5 anymore.
Top 5 strongest?
Yeah. Just looking to what took her down, a deeply injured kid and a deeply injured Law, both very tired out. Taking her out fresh, and then she had all those souls to eat too from the Beast Pirates. Not an impressive showing. Honestly, I think I'm almost at the point where I would put all the OG 3 admirals over her, to be honest. Because I'm just like I was not impressed with her performance this arc, you know?
Even Kizaru.
Well, because just look what Kaido dealt with to take him down, and then compare it to her. The kid literally got stabbed by Hawkins, as a straw, in the straw man thing. And they still took her down, Yeah. It's not that great. And she's kind of like Moria, where she has to keep on eating souls, or like he has to have shadows and like, wow, what if she didn't even have the Beast Pirates there to like consume those souls too, So it's just like, was not that impressive a performance at all, really. I still really see the Yonko Admiral divide as much as other people, and yeah, I don't know. 2 weekend Supernova took her down.
I pulled up your ranking from before, and you had Big Mom at number 5. Aokiji was still above her.
Yeah.
But I still forgot on your list you put Vasco Shot above Zoro and Sanji.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Yeah. Cringe. I think I still hold that position, but yeah. So I don't know. I think we still need to see. I'm not saying they're gonna get back up, but we're gonna have some shot on Kaido and Big Mom, like in the next 5 chapters or so. I mean, it would be hilarious if they both came out of the ground in like an awakened form, and be like, "Nah, you didn't defeat us," and just start going ham.
I don't know if that would make it worse. If that was just a complete like ass pull, or
what's an ass pull?
Them just coming back like awakened. I don't know if I would dislike that more than what we have right now. I probably wouldn't like it that much.
I would just laugh from the shock value. I think it would be hilarious, but yeah. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts overall on the chapter. Momo part was great. I just didn't like how we got here. I think that's kind of where I'm at in a nutshell with it. And Yamato to be seen. Zoro, I really appreciated the dialogue and support he gave Momo this chapter. Zoro did a great job there. So.
Yeah. I will say it is cool to see the culmination of Momo becoming Shogun after being introduced to him like 40 volumes ago.
Yeah, right.
Which is like close to half the series at this point, which is astounding.
And it's gonna be weird not having the scabbards anymore in the story.
You're gonna start dancing now.
Right. Well, we've had Kinemon since Punk Hazard.
Yeah. Well, people wanted Kinemon to stay on the crew.
Yeah. So the focus is not going to be on this anymore. So Oda's going to be focusing on so much other stuff now. He's going to have to be freed up, and hopefully we could get more crew interaction stuff, kind of going back to the old days. Since we don't have them in the story anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be really cool if Oda could do that for a bit.
Yeah, and I mean we're gonna get some wrap up with Wano, but it's weird. For the first time in a while, we don't really know the direction that we're gonna go in. It's interesting.
It's gonna be good, and it's like my closing thoughts for the chapter is that if Kaido is in fact down for the count, that shows how powerful Magma really is. And then, so what about what are your closing thoughts?
I just agree with Jinbei. Wait for Luffy's word on whether Yamato's joining.
All right, yeah, I agree. Okay, cool. And so thanks for listening, everyone. And if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, and we will see you soon. Peace.
See ya.